Hello and welcome to the Property Perspective Show by Kagwanja. I am Kagwanja, the realtor, your host, and this is EBN TV. Today we are going to be talking about purchasing land, and today I'm going to give you Kagwanja's guidelines to purchasing land. So first things first, when you tell me that you want to purchase land, I will tell you to answer these three key questions: why, where, and how. Why do you want to purchase land? Where do you want to purchase it? And how are you planning on purchasing it? So let's go into the why. Why do you want to invest in land? Why do you want to purchase land? Is it for agricultural purposes? Is it for residential purposes? Is it for commercial purposes? Do you want to just invest in land for speculative purposes? Or do you want to use it for industrial purposes or mixed use purposes? Once you answer those questions, they will automatically guide you into the where you want this land to be. Because if you want commercial land, it has to be in proximity to an urban center. It has to be in proximity to a tarmac. Whereas if you want to hold it for speculative purposes, all you have to do is answer the question, where is the development headed? Where does the government have project in the near future? And that is where you go and purchase land for speculative purposes. For those of you who are not familiar with the idea of speculative investment, this is whereby you purchase land today at price X so that you can sell it tomorrow or the day after at a greater price than X. Now, on to the next, we will address the issue of how. How addresses financing. Do you have a lump sum? Do you have this money somewhere that you want to just purchase as a lump sum? Are you getting a loan from a financial institution? Or do you want the option of paying in installments? After you've answered those questions, you'll now come to Kagwanja and tell them, let us begin the process. I already know, I have answered my three questions. I know what I want. Very quickly, let's go through the process of purchasing land. Today's show is sponsored by Zackley Real Estate Agencies. Zackley Real Estate Agencies is all about investments that you can count on. And today they are offering you Zackley Phase 5.
Welcome to Zackley, your number one real estate company that brings you Zackley Phase 5. Located in Gatondo, Maramure area, behind Harvard School, exactly 300 meters from the busy Embu-Chicago Highway. Water and electricity on site. 50 by 100 plots are going for 550,000 Kenyan shillings. 100 by 100 plots are going for 885,000 Kenyan shillings. Deposit 50% and clear the balance in 8 months installments. The plots are ideal for residential, commercial, or speculative buying. We have free site visit each and every Wednesday and Saturday. Our offices are located in Embu Town CBD, Eunice Nyaga Plaza, next to Safaricom Center. Our contact 0792 563 119. Zackley, investments you can count on.
First things first, site visit. You have to physically go. If Kagwanja the realtor has told you that he is selling property, he is selling land somewhere, the first thing you do is you go to the site visit. When it comes to land, unlike any other commodity that you can purchase off-site, you need to actually visit the land. Is it what is being advertised? Whatever Kagwanja is telling you, niko na shamba, niko na maploti nauza, ziko hivi na hivi. That's just hearsay. That's just what Kagwanja is saying. However, you need to go to the ground and confirm, jionee wewe mwenyewe na macho yako ya kwamba what Kagwanja is telling you is selling is what is actually on the ground. Now, after you've gone for a site visit and umetosheka, umeridhika na what you've seen, the next part you're supposed to do is conduct a search. You ask yourself why you should do an official search, because the search will tell you everything about the piece of land. It will tell you whether it has any loans or any cautions that are associated with that piece of land. Now, what you need for the official search is a copy of the title deed, a copy of your ID, and a copy of your KRA PIN. And then you pay 1,000 shillings on the Artisaza platform for that search. The search will be out within 3 to 5 days after you've paid. From there, after you are satisfied with the search, you can now go back to the vendor. Say the vendor, I'll give myself as an example. You come back to Kagwanja the realtor. Now we get into an agreement. This agreement is a sales agreement between I, Kagwanja the realtor, who will be the vendor, and you, who will be the purchaser. You need to involve your lawyer, and I will involve my lawyer as the vendor. And we come to an agreement to get chini, and we sign that agreement that states that I, being the sole owner of this property, I am willing and I am selling this property to you, and you, being the purchaser, you're willing to purchase it at the said price. You will then put a down payment, what is normally referred to as a deposit, for the said piece of land, and this is recorded. You get your copy of your title. I keep my copy of the title, and the lawyers keep their own copies of their titles. Not title, the agreement, I beg your pardon. This agreement will indicate the size of the land, the purchase price, the modalities of payment, and what is required from you as a purchaser and me as the vendor. From there, we have something called the transfer papers. I need to provide all relevant documents with regards to that piece of land, and then we fill in and sign the consent and transfer forms, which we will take to the land registrar at the land's office. At this point of the transaction, everything has to be done in official capacity, government official capacity. Because after we are done with the registrar and they have processed those papers, we need to go to the taxman, the Kenya Revenue Authority, and pay the stamp duty. Stamp duty right now for property is at 4% of the value of the property. That is the amount that you are required as the purchaser. As a purchaser, you are required to pay 4% of the value of that property as stamp duty. On to the next, we have the registration of the transfer, which is done by the registrar, who will then head on to produce the new title. This new title will have the particulars of the purchaser. This title will be given to the vendor. The vendor will issue this or hand over this title to the purchaser upon payment of the balance. Well, depending on the modalities of payment, for example, a company like Exactly, the modalities of payments is that usually put a down payment and then they give you between 6, 8, 12 months from project to project. They will give you a different time frame to clear your balance, within which they will have now done their part when it comes to the transfer paper. After that, after you've cleared your balance, the vendor, I, Kagwanja the realtor, I am required to hand over possession of the land to you. Immediately, I hand over the possession of the land to you and the documentation, which is the title deed under your name. The only thing that you are required from that point is make sure that you've kept that title deed very, very, very safe. Now, those are the 10 steps of purchasing land in Kenya. Thank you so much for being with us. This was the Property Perspective Show. I have been your host, Kagwanja the Realtor. Remember, the Property Perspective Show will be airing on EBN TV every Thursday. 10 things to do when purchasing land in Kenya. Number 1, call Kagwanja the Realtor. He will handle the other 9.